Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
I'm Todd Pleasant.
And I'm Tom Spina. I'm the guest.
Tom's the guest. Yay, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
The Irregular Joe.
Yes, there's so many irregular Joes.
Yes.
I feel honored to be one of them.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a cat in the background. There you go. Hey, cat.
That's Marbles.
Marbles from, wait, is that from the Seinfeld Mr. Marbles?
No, this is Miss Marbles from Murder by Death.
Oh.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
In Seinfeld, there's a Mr. Marbles who's a ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, sure.
Oh, he was freaking Jerry out, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Well, welcome, Tom.
Thank you very much. How are you guys tonight?
Good. I think was the last time you were here, I believe it was a year ago, for American Werewolf in London.
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I mean, that could be. Yeah, when we took Barry for his first time to see it. He was all scared and cowering, and I had to comfort him and
to hold my hand through the scary parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the same way with The Sting last week. I don't know why. There's so many movies he hasn't seen.
Jenny Agutter went in the shower. You know how it is.
I know. It's like
I had to cover my eyes. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
It's hard for me to think that Tom. It's been a year just because I see you all the time.
Because Barry and I were texting about 8 minutes ago. That's why it's hard to believe.
Feels like I just saw you earlier today. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah, weird.
It was Halloween time, and it is once again Halloween time.
Yeah.
I may have a couple Halloween questions, but we'll do some random, and then we'll hear what Tom. We don't care what Todd's up to. We'll hear what Tom's up to with Regal Robot and Tom Spina Designs, all our favorite companies.
Sure.
So Barry, what do you got? You got something you mentioned.
Yeah, well, today, if you fall for these things, today is Back to the Future Day. It's another one of those pop culture holidays, but it's the 40th anniversary, right? We're in the 40th anniversary of the release of the movie, and today is the day that Doc Brown and Marty went back to the future. So that's October 21st. That's the date they went back.
They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
But today,
even though it was released in, I think July 4th or June 4th, something like that.
But this is the day that they went back. So,
this is the day they've chosen to celebrate it, and this is the day that
this
in the movie
May the 4th of the Back to the Future.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes,
it's a bit of a Hallmark holiday for Back to the Future fans. But today, in celebration of that, Gibson, the guitar company, released their 1955 ES345 collector's edition guitar. So it's already sold out, so don't even bother trying to get one. It was also $20,000, so there's that. But it was awesome. I know I sent you guys some links. I don't know if either of you had a chance to look at them. I mentioned it to Tom too, but they made 88 of the sort of high-end replica guitar. On the back of the headstock, it had a Hill Valley Music Dealer plaque.
Oh, that's cool.
To the back of it. On the case, it said Marvin Berry and the Starlighters on the outside of the case. Inside the case, and most guitar cases, there's a little compartment for you to put extra things in, and that's where they
drugs, most likely
drugs or your strap or whatever, and that's where guitar companies put in what they call the case candy, which is all the little goodies they throw in there. But in this case, if you open that up, there's a flux capacitor in there that lights up when you open the door. It was pretty nuts. Then they came with a separate plutonium box.
Actual uranium.
Yeah, well, there was a plutonium box that came outside of the guitar case that had all the case candy in it. It had a replica of Marty's Casio calculator watch. It had a replica of the strap that Marty used.
Did they they need to make a replica? You can still buy that for $29.
Well,
but anyway,
it was in there.
I digress.
It was in there. They had a poster tube that had the poster from the dance that he played at, and a Save the Clock Tower
Enchantment Under the Sea.
And inside this, when you open the case, in the strings was the photo of.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
I mean, they went to town. They included everything. Oh, there was a key, an actual car key for a DeLorean with a keychain that said Doc Brown on it. They included a ton of stuff. But it was $20,000.
Still not $20,000 worth of stuff, but
No, and when Gibson does these high-end replicas, they weather it and they do everything to make it look like it is as old as it is. What's really interesting, well, to guitar nerds anyway, they were in 1955. The guitar that Marty was playing wasn't released until 1959, but they knew that, but they didn't think, A, they didn't think anybody would care, and B, they wanted that Chuck Berry-looking guitar, and that's why they picked that one. There was also an Epiphone version, which is the lesser company from Gibson. Gibson also owns Epiphone. And there were 1,985 of those, and it wasn't weathered, and it didn't have the flux capacitor. And that was only $1,000, and that also is already sold out.
Oh, that's
impressive on both counts.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. And that guitar is still missing. Gibson is hunting for it, and they're offering rewards for it and all this stuff, but nobody seems to know where the actual guitar used in the movie
used guitar is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Considering how much stuff has come up, Rob Klein had that whole book about the props of Back to the Future and just all the stuff that's been found. Like, it's incredible that doesn't turn up. Like,
but it wasn't owned by the studio. It was. It was.
I bet that was brought in. Yeah.
It was from Norm's.
Leased from Norm's Rare Guitars, and they have a receipt for it, but they don't know where it went after it was returned.
I guess, did Norm sell it?
Yeah,
and Norm's, I should say.
If you've seen Norm's warehouse, it could still be in Norm's warehouse.
It might still be in one of those crates. Yeah. But so, and Dave and I went last week to Michael J. Fox did a thing at the 92nd Street Y here in New York City for the release of his book Future Boy, which is about the making of Back to the Future and how he was making that at the same time he was doing Family Ties, and he was literally working day and night on the for like a few month period. And it's an interesting book. I actually listened to the audiobook version of it, which Michael J. Fox narrates. And what's cool about the audiobook is anytime there's interview clips with other cast members or other production people, they actually insert those into the audiobook. So you hear, the director, or you hear, cast and crew giving their responses rather than reading them. So it's kind of cool.
That's great. I was just actually listening to the audiobook for, it was Carrie Elwes did one for the making of Princess Bride. Highly recommend it. It's really good. And they got a lot of the people when he was quoting similarly. So like Rob Reiner's in there, and Billy Crystal, Carol Kane, Christopher Guest. There's obviously, Andre wasn't around to do his dialogue and such, but
Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin wasn't reading. They had someone reading for him.
Interesting, really.
And the same guy, I think, was reading for Fred Savage and one other. And it was just funny because he puts a little bit of an inflection on it, but not the full Patinkin.
No. Well, the reason I brought the audiobook up was because in the book, Michael J. Fox says if he had any idea what that guitar would have become, he would have tried to hold on to it, or buy it after the production.
He even mentioned it when we saw him. Yeah,
he mentioned it up on stage too. But
he's no Eric Stoltz.
No,
thankfully. And no knock on Eric Stoltz, but
no, not at all.
From the way it's described, Eric Stoltz was playing that as a serious, dramatic role and putting no comedy into the performance at all. So
interesting, or not. It would be interesting to see that movie. Well, there's all kinds of clips of it on the Blu-rays and stuff, but it'd be interesting to see them cut that together.
It would have been a very different movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Apparently, the two of them just met recently for the first time.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually talk about that in the book.
I'm surprised. I would have thought they would have crossed paths over the years. All those people
did.
The same age.
They had actually crossed paths once before and didn't remember it until they got together and started talking.
Oh, that's
They
funny.
had both auditioned for something at the very beginning of their careers, and they were in a scene together. But but they just got together, and he declined to be included in the book, but they got together and
it's like the scene in Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer where they like just get close and like, do we have to start fighting now?
Yeah.
So yeah, Back to the Future Day.
Cool. Happy Back to the Future Day. Todd, what do you got?
Okay, I was going to ask you guys if people in your neighborhood decorate for Halloween. Because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like a big. It's crazy how in the last 10 years it's kind of gone to the extreme. And I was going to ask you what the best thing that you've seen so far this year is. I'm going to tell you mine. Just up the road from me, there's a guy who has a 50s, maybe early 60s era lawn tractor. Okay. He has a skeleton on the lawn tractor who's got a beer in one hand, a cigarette in the other, and behind the lawn tractor is just a 15-foot carpet of human bones and skulls.
Oh, that's funny.
This thing has, basically the idea that this guy has run over all
Just
these
lay
things.
it out. Yeah.
There's even bones coming up out on wires coming up out of the chute from the lawn.
Man.
It was
That's dedication.
Yeah,
it was
that's
very
commitment.
subtle. It took me a while to catch it. I went by a few times. And said, a skeleton on a tractor. That's kind of cool. And then I realized that this guy he had this whole kind of arrangement of bones. It was just brilliant. But anything around you guys that's really
There's
noteworthy?
a lot of people, good or bad, there's a lot of that Home Depot stuff, and there is no shortage of that. I give
Giant
people.
skeletons.
There is someone on Barry. You may have seen it the last time you were here. There's a guy right before the Taconic that's got maybe 10 of them. I just give the guy credit for where do you store these things? Some are 10 feet tall. There is no way to. And I owned the werewolf from there. I bought it right after Halloween once. It was on sale for half price. I bought it. I bought it online and went to go pick it up. The box was 48 by 60 by 40. It's just this massive box. And I'm like, what am I? Thank God I was able to sell it for double the price. I just don't have room for it. So I don't know where these people store these things.
No,
but
I've seen that. I saw the one you're talking about up by you, and I've got people here that they have these 10 and 15 foot tall skeletons even, or the giant torso of the skeleton that looks like it's coming out of the
Digging
ground.
itself out of the ground. Yeah.
That's called the ground. It's called the groundbreaker.
Yeah, I don't know where you put that stuff, but yeah, there's
I don't know where you put. So I give him credit. It looks cool. This guy even added more. He's got a headless horseman, literally a full size horse with a guy on it, holding a pumpkin head.
I think I saw somebody in your industrial park that's got them out by their buildings.
Somebody had a couple out. Yeah. And we see a lot of it in our neighborhood. It's kind of cool to see just over the last few years how that's changed.
It's exploded. I think Home Depot's got a lot to do with it. But
absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, you look at even their Star Wars pieces the last few years.
Yes.
They did a Vader. This is more Christmas, quote unquote, but they're almost doing they're low level replica type stuff almost at this point. Not just like a Christmas decoration.
I think everything they've done up until this year was, I agree, low level. The R2-D2 they have out this year is actually not bad.
It's the sort of thing where from about 8 or 10 feet away, it's really good. It's undersized from what I've seen. I think
I heard it's
undersized. 10-15% too small, and there's a lot of detail missing in terms of the panels and stuff. But the bones are there, and if someone just took that thing, scribed in a few extra lines, and weathered it up, maybe repaint the dome for a little better.
I've seen online already people
amazing.
are repainting the blue paint with more of a metallic paint and repainting the dome. And look, it's a $300 replica, so it's not going to be the same as a $10,000 replica, but I mean, if you want a fairly decent looking R2-D2, it's actually not that bad for $300.
Yeah, even their Chewie, which look, how I know Chewie. It's the challenge with a lot of those kind of figures is that they're basically hollow underneath.
Yeah,
there's a plastic torso, and everything is just blank. But if you get that thing hanging right.
And brush it out. There's
seen
a lot of videos.
Really good job.
Combing it out,
and you could build a body for it, or you could stuff it out, or whatever.
Supposedly that thing comes off the frame, and it's, I'm gonna do air quotes, wearable. It's not quite
I've
wearable.
seen somebody wearing it.
But it's kind of wearable.
As a quote wearable for the body, it's better than some of the costumes that have been released. And for the money, it's insane.
They're just very inexpensive too. Which if that's what you're into, then it's not bad.
Yeah, Home Depot's really the stuff they're doing. The skeletons now, they have little video eyes, and I saw one. I walked by Home Depot. The guy as soon as I walk by, he's like, "Hey, you, hey, come here," and his head is turning. It's like it's pretty
like
involved for what it is.
Yeah, it's stuff that as a kid, like we were dreaming about.
Oh
like,
my God!
That's why
in my neighborhood that would do Halloween decorations. And you'd go by 100 plain houses, and then you'd get to our house, and there'd be foam tombstones and skeletons and like zombies and things crawling out of the ground and whatever the hell else that we could dream up, and make as cheap as possible. And it was all just stuff cobbled together, and it was because it was like me and my buddies just liked Halloween.
Yeah.
But not a lot of other people were doing it. Maybe you get a few people that put some the fake spider webs on their bushes or something. And gradually over the years, and this is we're talking like mid '80s here. From then on, it's just been more and more every year, like a decorating holiday for folks. And,
it's fun. I think we're the only one on the block doing anything. I've got a bunch of pumpkins and eyeballs on bushes and stuff.
Around here, there seems to be somebody in at least every neighborhood. There seems to be like one person in every neighborhood that kind of just picks up the torch and goes with it. Another really good one, the guy bought like a dozen Home Depot skeletons, and there's one trying to get in every window of his house.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen them crawling all over.
Like of the normal size ones, not
the normal size ones. Every single one is like trying. It's like he's under zombie attack kind of thing.
That's great.
We've had one of those regular size skeletons for years, and for years I've had him sort of sitting on our front steps. But this year I took one of those shepherd hooks that you use to like hang a plant on, and I have that in the ground, and I have him standing on our front lawn, kind of pointing. So
nice.
I tried. I didn't go like 15-foot skeleton, but at least he's standing up now.
Yeah, nice.
And you got all cool inflatable stuff now too. It's like again, like stuff that's $50-$60 that like as a kid we dream of the possibility of having something like, well, you're never going to be able to just get this. You'll never be able to get just a skeleton. You'd have to get like a medical skeleton for $500 and whatever else. And now even the cheap skeletons look great.
Yeah,
Especially
they came out with
a
bunch
like
of stuff.
little, artistic sense and can weather them up. It's just
at least like the skeleton I have folds up like a battle droid. Like his legs fold up.
Yeah, mine fold up. So I put him in the.
You can stuff him nicely in the rafters.
And that's exactly what it
if
does.
He falls over, you go out and you're like, "They all brokey."
I think
ours is Roger. It's weird.
That's right.
I think ours has 3 zip ties currently holding it together because it's broken in a few joints, but it still works.
Cool.
We used to have, I don't know if you guys remember, there were in the mid 90s, there were blow molded skeletons you could get. They were about 4.5, 5 feet tall.
Yep.
They were very low detail. But we found a place that was doing closeout on them after Halloween one year, and we bought like 8 or 10 of them. And those became our like indoor and outdoor Halloween decorations for years, and we would use them. We used to have a big Halloween party every year. We'd have them all over the place. We have one of them is still chained to a styrofoam wall, like the Forgotten Prisoner.
Oh, nice.
Torn shirt. We gave him a long beard. There were a couple that were like kind of vampire ones that we had on stakes, like laid out and hanging on these big wooden stakes. We'd put on the lawn with a spotlight. It was fun, and now they're kind of passé looking. But like the new skeletons you can get, and granted, I mean, like I think we got those for like $8 or $10 each at the time, but the new ones that if you catch them right, maybe you get them for like $30-$40 on clearance or something, or 25. Like they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, they have like 4 different things now. There's even this. I saw this year an all green one with these pointed ears. They called them like a ghoul or something. Same thing. It's same articulation, but it was a whole different kind of deal.
We did one of my houses. We had the only one in the neighborhood that decorated had those skeletons, Tom, and he detailed 3 of them with glow in the dark paint.
Oh, nice.
And he had like spotlights on them. So he'd turn the spotlights on them for about 15-20 minutes, and they'd toggle the spotlights off, and they just glowed, and they'd fade, and he'd flip them on again for a little while. So if you went by his house at the right time, it was creepy as hell.
We've been doing a whole bunch of, we like next level Halloween decorations, like theme park level stuff for a couple of clients. And there's one guy in particular that is just absolutely over the top. Like we've built him a 12-foot tall time portal that he puts out on his lawn, and there's a video that runs. And a few years ago, it was like glitching between different time eras, and there would be dinosaurs and all this other stuff, and Civil War soldiers and things, and it would explain all the different things that could be on his lawn at any time. It was a really great storytelling device. This year, the portal is going through all different monsters, so
wow, that's cool.
It's glitching. It kind of glitches. There's a lightning strike, and then you're getting some scenes of Frankenstein or the Wolfman or whatever. But every year we're doing a batch of tombstones, and if folks go to tomspinadesigns.com, we just updated with a bunch of this stuff, and they're just really big, really over the top. But one of the things that we've been doing is we use UV reactive paint that is invisible in daylight, but different colors and glows under blacklight. So let me call up, see if I can get like a good example or two. But so really depending on what the item is, when the lights go out, you'll see, there's a message or whatever. Like we did one for Ebenezer Scrooge, and when the light goes, the glow light comes on, it says "Bah Humbug." There's one for Lizzie Borden that it looks like just an ancient, like 1800s, tombstone. But when the glow light comes on, it's all edged in blue, and there's a red bloody axe that glows on it. There's what else? Where's last year's? If people go to the Tom Spina Designs website, there's a section called theme props that has a bunch. We just did the same thing. We did like these 5 and 6 foot tall giant pumpkins that get glowing jack-o'-lantern faces projected on.
Oh, I saw those. That's cool. Yeah.
There's a 15.5 foot tall spooky tree that Rich Riley and Pat built. That's pretty amazing and crazy what they put together. So it's a lot of fun. There's the glow paint in particular though is really neat. There's depending on whatever the item is, we always put some sort of complimentary message that you only see if they flash the black light on it.
That's cool. So we're talking about Halloween, and it's Halloween time. And for us, we always pick a movie or two we watch for Halloween. Does anyone have a movie they're watching this year, or do you watch the same thing every year? Tom, I know you love this stuff, so we'll start with you.
I like to try and do either The Howling or American Werewolf each year. Those two are like just top of the tops for me. I haven't seen Dog Soldiers in a while. I feel like I might pull that one out. I don't know if you guys know that one. It's a sort of early 2000s werewolf movie.
I think we talked about it last time, yeah.
Yeah, really, really, really fun. I mean, I just got back. Actually, you know what? This is kind of on topic for Halloween, and it's a good random topic. I just got back from Epic Universe down in Universal.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff down there.
And I mean, they have their Halloween thing. Halloween Horror Nights is over the top. But they in the park they have the Dark Universe. I guess I forget what it's called, but it's their Universal Monsters Land finally. And it's just really cool to finally have the classic monsters represented in those parks in like a real way, not just in like a restaurant that has a couple of figures in it or, the occasional poster or something like that. I don't know. Have any of you guys been down there since they opened the park?
No.
It's, man, I mean, it's like it's hard to go through that park. Literally land by land, and like the other 4 lands. So it's the Universal Monsters, it's Harry Potter based more on like the Fantastic Beasts era. It's How to Train Your Dragon and Nintendo. I have a great interest in one of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see 2 of those.
However, every single one of those lands blew me away. And to the point where I'm going like, boy, Disney's going to have to step up their game, because this is like every one of them was next level. And I know nothing of How to Train Your Dragon, and like Nintendo. Okay. I mean, I love old games, but like I dropped off at NES, and like I've got my retro system that I play stuff on, and all I play is arcade games and NES, like the occasional Super Nintendo, but that's like literally as far as I get.
Yeah.
And just going through that land though, like it's wild what they did, and it's so man-made, it's so geometric and all this stuff. It's very enclosed, that land. It's not covered, but like, you know, it's all high walls and tons of detail everywhere. The Donkey Kong roller coaster was a lot of fun. You know, the other two rides were just all right, but like the land itself was amazing. The food was great all over the place. There were like lots of fun snacks and stuff. But the Harry Potter area, again, like it's not my thing. It's not for me. I've never even seen the Fantastic Beasts movies. I saw all the other ones, but it's you walk through the portal and you're in 1920s Paris, and it's just impressive as hell. Like every inch of it is themed so beautifully, and again, fun snacks, good food, all of that, great. The ride in there's this Battle for the Ministry ride or something like that, and the conceit is you go through some sort of time portal or whatever, and you wind up in the 90s or 2000s so that you can have the Harry Potter kids as part of the ride. But like the queue for the ride is in a building bigger than the show building for most rides. Like at one point you walk through the queue and you come into an area that looks like you're outside between some buildings. If I'm not mistaken, the ceiling was a screen showing sky and stuff like that, and there's a giant statue like in the middle of a square. There's, you know, the buildings on either side look to be 6-7 stories tall. It was impressive as hell. Like I did not expect to be blown away by the queue for that ride.
Well, that's good to keep you interested.
But yeah, and then the Monsterland, the only complaint I have is it was small. It was much smaller than all the other lands. It felt like it got shortchanged.
Did they have rides and stuff, or?
Yeah, so there's a werewolf roller coaster that's
right up your alley.
It's sort of a spinning roller coaster kind of thing. Does a little forward and backward trick too that kind of throws you for a loop. Not for a loop literally, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. I can't actually. Now I'm trying to remember if there was an inversion. But the main ride though is it's essentially like Frankenstein's granddaughter. The doctor, not the monster, is trying to capture all of the monsters, and Dracula is the last one she has to capture. And this being a theme park ride, you know that, you know, she'll tell you all about the technology and you're about to go capture Dracula and everything's going to go perfect. So, you know, so of course things go a little awry. It's in the same technology, I guess the same ride vehicle as the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey, the one that's in Hogwarts Castle in the first Potterland. But it doesn't do that thing where it puts you right against a screen, which makes my wife want to throw up. So there are some screens, but they're all far away and used kind of like they use the volume in, Mandalorian and stuff. Yeah. It's like, extending backdrops and things. There's a lot of animatronics. There's great animatronics of really all the main monsters, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
And I mean, if it says anything, for anybody who gets queasy or whatever, my wife wrote it twice. She can't even go on the Millennium Falcon ride at Star Wars Land. So that says something. But it was a lot of fun. And then the whole area is just themed beautifully. There's a great graveyard. There's a Dr. Pretorius shop, which is, if you look up, has all kinds of cool props and stuff. There was a meet and greet with the bride and with Frankenstein.
Oh,
and the
nice.
actors were great. I got yelled at by the Invisible Man. That was fun. He just, played it wonderfully off kilter. And then there's the Burning Blade Tavern, which is in the back of that area, just past the werewolf ride, is the big windmill with the blades on fire, and they light up every couple of minutes, like at the end of the first Frankenstein. So it was
cool.
really, really cool.
Wow.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I want to check that place out at some point.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Actually,
definitely worth it. Yeah.
On my list to watch is the original Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, which I haven't seen the Bride of Frankenstein in a while, so that's on our Halloween list.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Watch Bride of Frankenstein and Son of Frankenstein.
Uh-huh.
Because Son of is super underrated in my opinion. And I mean, yeah, obvious. Why not watch all three? But,
yeah, they're only an hour and 15 minutes, and Bride is better than Frankenstein.
And if you like Young Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein is the blueprint for Young Frankenstein. So everything that's in Young Frankenstein, there's some that traces back to the Bride, but so much of it goes to Son of Frankenstein. And yeah, I love that. Lionel Atwill plays the sort of Inspector Kemp kind of character and stuff, and it's just it's definitely like the inspector with the wooden arm, like that's all right out of that movie.
Oh, really? So, interesting. I don't think I've seen that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's a great movie too. It's Bela Lugosi plays Igor, who's not the hunchback assistant, but is sort of an evil villain who is a hunchback, but the in Young Frankenstein they play him more like Fritz from the first movie. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting caught up in the details.
Is anyone else watching?
I watched Leprechaun 4 the other day. Leprechaun in Space.
Is that the one with Jennifer Aniston or no?
No, she's in the first one.
Yeah, I know.
It was literally Leprechaun in space.
I saw.
Insanely stupid, but I have to say, at the same time, kind of fun.
Yeah.
We did a display for one of his costumes. I'm looking it up now.
I remember seeing that. That's funny.
It's challenging because he does not have, a standard mannequin body shape.
He's an odd.
Who plays Leprechaun? Isn't he?
It's Warwick Davis.
Is it Warwick?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, it was from the first one. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was from the first or one of the later ones. But
I didn't even know they made 4 of them, but apparently the 4th one they go to space. So
there's probably 11 of them. You know how those things go.
Well, you have to go to space at some point.
Yeah, I think for Jason it took him like till 11.
Jason and Freddie, didn't they both go to space together or something?
Wasn't it Jason X that was?
Yeah,
in
it was
space?
10.
So,
you're right.
So that must have been the 10th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Funny.
I'm going to rewatch Nosferatu.
The new one.
The new one. I watched the original in between, and then I'll go back. I'll watch the new one again.
Nice.
So I thought it was great.
Oh, I haven't seen the what's the Marvel one? The Werewolf by Night. I haven't seen that. I didn't watch that last year.
Oh,
that was fun.
I do watch that every year.
Kirk Thatcher's in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch that. All right. Well, there's lots of good Halloween talk. Some off the cuff. That's great. You know who you don't go buy Halloween stuff there, but you buy just about everything else at Fanboy Collectibles. They got what's today? Jesus. It's 2 months until the holidays. How crazy. That's just nuts. Insane.
Yeah.
It's almost November. So check those guys out. They got everything you need. They got Hot Toys and Sideshow and Kotobukiya and Hasbro and just about it. They should be selling Regal Robot stuff. I don't know why they're not.
They should be, yeah.
We'll hook you up.
We'll talk about that.
Get us in
touch. They do have some Funko Pops that are Halloween themed in stock right now.
Yeah, they got lots of stuff. So check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, and tell them the Regular Joe sent you. Okay, so Tom, what is going on?
Carry Regal Robot stuff.
Yes, we'll talk to Troy. He listens. So Troy, let's carry some Regal Robot stuff.
Come on, Troy. We got good stuff.
So, yeah, Tom, I know there's a lot going on over at Regal.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about what you can talk about?
You've been by. You've seen, it's like that cartoon when there's, a massive fight and there's just, the ball of smoke and you just see arms and legs and, things sticking out of the smoke. That's how it is when you walk through the studio most days.
Yeah, it's pretty active in your shop these days.
Yeah, it's busy bees. We just released a bunch of cool stuff, and we've got a very full release schedule for the last half of this year. When we've had a bunch of stuff we were trying to get out early in the year. A few things got moved a little back in the release schedule, and all of a sudden it just became oh, we're going to announce all this stuff at Comic-Con, and then we have 6 months to get all of it out, or most of it, and it's just been crazy. But yeah, we did the most recent thing, so we started a line called Regal Icons. It's our sort of classy, artistic way to bring nerdy stuff into like any room in your house. So there is and it's intended to be our line. It's not necessarily, while we're doing some Star Wars and Indiana Jones stuff with it, it's not specifically that. And we recently revealed to people what we had in mind for this. So initially we did 2 Star Wars ones. We had a Grand Moff Tarkin and a Princess Leia, for both a New Hope look, both really classical looking. If you look up close at the Tarkin, there's tool marks and rake marks and things like you would find on a classical bronze sculpture.
Yeah, these are bronze busts, by the way. I don't think you actually mentioned that. But...
Oh, so yeah, maybe I said artistic style, but not that.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Maybe you should be doing this.
There we go.
And those are what, about 9 inches tall, 8 or 9 inches
they're
tall?
about 7 inches tall, I think. They're a couple of them get a little bigger, but yeah, they're small scale bronze busts. I don't have one handy to show.
We'll put a picture up.
They and they're meant to be this like sort of, the way to display your nerdy stuff anywhere in your house. Initially, when it comes to ones from like Star Wars, we're looking for characters that maybe in universe would deserve something like this sort of honorific. And so we have everyone's princess, and we have Grand Moff Tarkin because I'm a huge Peter Cushing nut, and because he sculpts up so great. He's just got that wonderful face. We have our Indiana Jones one set for 1111, which is Tote, but it's Tote from Raiders when he's melting.
Oh, so nice.
One side of it, it's him screaming, and if you turn it around to the other side, it's him melting, and the glasses are all crooked and everything. And Christian Maggi at the shop just crushed the sculpt on that. And speaking of sculpts that he crushed, the one we just released maybe a week ago was Phil Tippett. So this is where the line skews off from the licensed stuff and goes into, our territory. And so this is done in conjunction with Phil. It's licensed through him, and he's been a part of this. And to us, the icons of special effects are
that's cool.
It's this sort of unsung heroes, guys that so many of us know and so many artists were inspired by, and maybe you could put. The great thing is Phil Tippett just looks like this wise old philosopher or something. Like you could put this on your desk at work, and people are just like, oh, it's Darwin or it's whatever, Socrates or whatever,
Yeah.
And unlike what some other companies would do, where they would maybe put the name into the bronze or something, there's no name or anything on it. So
no.
It could look like if you don't know who it is, you don't know who it is.
Right. It's very much like the stealth geek. If you know, it's for the in crowd. It's for the it getters. It's for our customers who are like, absolutely in that. And look, Phil is someone who I'm very lucky to know for so long and have him be a part of a lot of the stuff we've been doing, and to have somebody that you've looked up to since you were like, 10 years old or younger, to be able to sort of pay a little tribute to them this way, to me, just feels really special. And this was the one I was most excited to release out of the whole line. So that's out there. It's been selling well. We have them on the website now for anybody who is like a stop motion fan, a Jurassic Park fan, a Star Wars fan, a RoboCop fan, a Starship Troopers fan, a Mad God fan, or just a special effects fan. And we have more coming. So, in January, we will have our next Icons of Special Effects coming out.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's even more out of left field, but it's another real icon that was a huge inspiration to me growing up, and somebody that is going to be, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised that we're doing, and hopefully jump on board with us. And, if these go well, we have a lot more planned. It's a fun line. The Star Wars one sold great. We already had to do a reorder on them, which was surprising to me how quickly that went. And it's going to be, it's fun. So, there was that. We just did our Last Crusade prop style wall decor.
Yeah,
of Leap of
that thing's
Faith.
great.
That was really fun. Barry knows that prop pretty well, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with that one, and I did see your replica of it in your shop, and if you didn't know, you would think it was the one from the archives. I mean, it's that good.
Yeah, it's those are available now. There's while there's not a specific limit, it's not necessarily something where they're going to be available forever. It may not be something we do a reorder on. It's a great price, like it's $2.99, which is $100 less than the other indie wall decor we have going, and I'm really, really proud of the way it turned out. The 3D scan of all like the wood elements and even just the shape of that painting, because it's painted on a carved board of wood.
Right.
So all of that's captured off the real prop. And then the artwork of it is, I think it's UV.
The way that the gold leaf on the originals
came
through in the replica was amazing to me.
So yeah, we had Chris Trevis took our high resolution photos of the original art, which we took wide shots and then small cube like squares of it all the way around, so we get a super high res layout when we pulled it together. He pulled all that together and then he broke out the gold leaf into a separate layer, so that's actually put on as a metallic gold layer separately in the printing.
That's cool.
And it catches the light beautifully. It just looks like the real thing.
Well, and that's another one of those things that if you're a hardcore Indiana Jones fan, you immediately know what it is. But if you've never seen Last Crusade, it just looks like an interesting piece of art. Like
a medieval kind of thing.
Yeah, somebody would just see that and go, oh, that's cool. But if you know the movie, it's like, oh my God, this is a perfect replica.
And it's, thank you, by the way, because I know you know. But it is, it's one of those things I've never seen done right. And I know a lot of people have done it based on the measurements in the one of the archives books that came out that was based on a Japanese exhibit. And unfortunately, their measurements are wrong in that book. And a lot of people look at those books and they take any measurements in there as gospel. And it's like, these are measurements that a guy like taking pictures for a book did. He's not a prop replicator, and maybe sometimes they swap dimensions. Sometimes in the case of this, they were measuring the inside piece, not the whole frame, so like there were a few people who were telling us like, oh, yours is way too big. And it's like, no, trust me, we know how big it is. We saw it, like it's,
did someone paint it originally, like a art director or somebody, or?
I don't know who did the original painting. That's actually a good question. Someone did. It's made for the movie. There's actually two versions of it. So what's interesting is, and this is neat, I never really thought about it. So there's two different types of Grail diaries. I was obsessed with the Grail diary about 25 years ago, for anybody who doesn't know, and I made my own replicas and stuff. The hero style Grail diary has certain pages in it. It's actually missing a lot of the movie sort of specific stuff naturally. They've pasted in a lot of movie specific stuff. So like there's all sorts of stuff about the Grail, but then if he opens up to a thing and it's saying the trials, that's a pasted in page. If he opens it up and it's the map with no name, that's a pasted in page.
Oh, okay.
If he gets to the one with the library, X marks the spot, pasted in. So the hero books were made first. There was like 5 or 6 of them, and then later they made what would have been referred to as the B props. It was a second wave of production. They were made a little smaller, a little thinner, so that they would fit in the pocket of the jacket better.
Oh yeah.
And in that book, all of the movie specific stuff is actually naturally in that book because at that point they developed it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the Leap of Faith page in the hero book. The paste in is a 2-page spread, a widescreen image, like the painting. In the B props, which would have, I'm assuming are the first draft of that, it's a single page and it's vertical. And even in the Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis game, I believe, was that the one that came with the Grail Diary, or was
one
that,
of them?
Maybe it was the last.
It was definitely one of those games. Had
one
all
of the games
pages.
came with a little Grail Diary in it. And that one has a single page leap of faith. And everybody's like, oh, it's wrong. It's, whatever. That's actually based on one of the pages that was originally in the diary. They changed it for the movie to the spread. Well, there's 2 paintings in the archives, and one of them is vertical.
Oh,
so
really?
The first time we went, we were like, we want to see the leap of faith painting. The painting they took out was vertical. I'm like, first off, I had never seen that before. So I'm like, first off, this is amazing. But then you start to put together like, oh, wow, they really committed to the whole vertical thing. And then somewhere someone, went, well, this would look better if it was widescreen. It was a spread. And so now they had to go back and like, oh, we need a new painting quick, So it's
the painting's in his father's house.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the idea is that he redrew it into
the book.
He sketched it into
his book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh.
So that's available now as well,
that's
right?
cool.
That sure is. Yeah. If folks just go to regalrobot.com, hit the news page, you'll see all the newest stuff, or just click on the shop section. Click Star Wars, click Indiana Jones, click Regal Originals and more, and you can shop all this stuff. Go take Phil Tippett's head, bring it home, and put it on your desk at work, and see how many people can figure out that who that is.
So this show comes out this Friday.
Okay.
Next week you have some new stuff coming. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So long announced. So last year's Comic-Con, we announced we were doing replicas of the Space Slug from The Empire Strikes Back. Another prop Barry knows very well.
I've seen it.
And it's like under that thing like a mechanic. Like, oh, well, here's your problem,
Yeah.
It's another one that we got like almost dental with, where we were like down their throats.
You got a Falcon stock back here. Let me get that for you. The original puppet, John Berg refers to it as a giant loaf of bread. It's 32 inches long, the puppet, and it is massive. Like it's got to be like 10, 12 inches around.
And it's got to be 10 and 12. It's like the size of a record album. Like it's like 12 inches.
Yeah, on
wide.
the back end.
Yeah.
And then his mouth alone is like 8 or 10 inches long because we had to 3D print those elements after we cleaned up the scan. So we 3D scanned that original prop. We did. We output it. We color matched all the stuff. We matched the style of paint, all the spatter and colors and everything that's on it. But that prop is huge. So what we decided to do is offer it 2 ways. The first way is super limited edition, 100 pieces, dual signatures from Phil Tippett, who sculpted it and did the performance, and Doug Beswick, who did the mechanics on the inside of it.
Cool.
This is our first edition with Doug. I think it's the first product he's ever done. Doug is absolutely wonderful guy, someone I've known since the early to mid, mid-aughts. Is that how you say it?
Nobody knows.
He sculpted the Cantina band members for the Cantina. He worked on the Space Slug. He worked on mechanics and things for different stuff in the films. He worked on American Werewolf in Rick Baker's shop. He worked on, Terminator stop motion, Beetlejuice stop motion, etc. And again, just super, super nice guy. So excited to have him be a part of it. We've been looking for something to bring him in on. And so first way, dual signature edition, full size, giant slug, big loaf of bread. Then we have a 60% scale one that is the slug coming out of an asteroid and doing the turn with the Falcon coming out of its mouth. And that one will be available as a limited time thing. So you'll have 100 pieces, limited edition on the signature, the big one-to-one prop replica, and then this the other one will come out. It'll be available for 1 week. Everybody who orders in that week gets one. The small one is going to be $6.99. The big one is $18.99. And the big one is big. Huge. It's funny when you know how big it is. Did you say, was it you that said today, like, I thought it was bigger?
Yeah, well, yeah, I saw the final, I guess, is that the production sample?
That's a production sample you saw today.
I mean, and having seen the real one in the archives, I looked at the one in Tom's shop today and I said, it looks smaller than I remember, but the thing is massive.
Yeah, and I think it's also because it was not in an enclosed area, like it was in a wide open part of the shop. But it also, it's funny. It's like anything else. Like once you get used to the size of it, it stops feeling big. Like I have to keep reminding myself, like, no, someone's going to see this for the first time and go, what the, because that was our first take when we saw it in the archives. Like I expected, hand puppet, like, oh, it's like this long, good, And no, this thing, if you put it on your arm, it's going like all the way to here.
Yeah, you would think it would look like an oven mitt, but it's
it's
like
big.
you would have to reach really far into it to be able to get to the mechanisms that controlled it.
And that's the third edition is an oven mitt.
The oven mitt version, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So this will give somebody a little more than an oven mitt. So yeah, keep an eye on the website. By the time this goes live, there'll be a news entry about it with all the details, all the photos. Check it out. I think people will dig it, and it'll be. Anytime we've done other stuff with the Space Slug, like we have a little desk organizer that is the Space Slug coming out of the asteroid. You put your pens in his mouth. And Barry's got one.
I've got one right here.
There you go. So anytime we've done stuff like Space Slug, people go nuts for it. So I'm really curious what this is going to look like. The reason we did the timed edition on the small scaled one, and I say small, but it's like 15 inches tall. But there's a lot of times where we're just like, oh, I don't know how many to make. Like, I don't know how many people want this. And the last thing I want is for people to be, pissed off at us for not making enough of something. So,
yeah, I mean, and that is a really interesting problem that companies like yours have. It's like you're not that you're setting the numbers in a vacuum, but you base it on a lot of factors, and then some things sell out in a minute and a half.
You just don't know about that stuff,
like, sorry they couldn't get one. And then other things, you think are going to sell out immediately, and maybe they take a couple more days or a week or
they
whatever.
sit there for a year, like when we did and what's interesting to me though is, we were just talking about this. So we did a replica of Phil Tippett's maquette for the Tauntaun. It's about 12 inches tall. It's one of my favorite sculptures he's ever done. We did it in all gray, like the clay sculpture of it. And it was one of the first maquettes we put out. We did an edition of 250 pieces. And it took 5 years to sell out.
Really?
And in the meantime, we were making all this other stuff and building our kind of name for doing these maquettes and things like that. And we also did an edition of 250 pieces of his Jabba the Hutt maquette, the final Jabba, the Just Right Jabba. And that took 1 or 2 years to sell out. And what's interesting now, though, is those ones that took forever to sell out now go for $1,000, $1,200. I've seen some go for $1,500 on those Tauntauns now. So, it isn't, to me, it's not about the time it takes for the thing to sell out. It's just what's going to happen once it's not available anymore, because people aren't flipping this stuff. Like, people aren't, there were 250 people that got those Tauntauns, but they barely ever show up. And that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like people love this stuff, that they're getting it and they're holding on to it. And they bought it because they like the people who made it, or they like the art and they want to have it in their collection, and not like, oh, someday this will be worth something, so I better get this edition before it sells out. So that feels good.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw an interesting YouTube video. People were, I'll stop short of saying complaining, but they were not happy about some of the stuff that Hasbro released at Comic-Con and how limited it was. And like, they subscribed to Hasbro Pulse thinking, well, if I don't go to the convention, at least I pay money to be a member of that, I'll be able to get it online. And when they weren't able to get it online, then there was people arguing with them saying, well, you had to pay the money and you should have gone to the convention, and then you could have, if you spent the money on the badge and the hotel. And then those people were saying, but we did that too, and we couldn't even get one at the show. Yeah. And when this happens year after year after year, and companies like Hasbro don't increase the numbers or don't find a way to get those into people's hands, it's like they're purposely making it impossible to get.
And that's the thing. And they don't even
turns people off.
They don't do anything with the secondary market. So why not make more? That's what
it's like. I guess buzz is important, but frustration is also not And, you know, it's like
It's a fine line.
You don't have an opportunity to purchase it, and you get discouraged, you collect something else. You find interest in something else.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, we saw it years ago with the Playmates Star Trek line, right? That was
gosh.
a gangbusters line until they released that Tapestry Picard, and it killed the entire thing.
Wow.
Why you have to bring that up? That's a
remember that.
very sore subject, and you know it.
Oh.
You know,
I like that Todd just kind of hit on. So it's like there's a fine line between buzz and frustration.
And it's, but
I feel like
there's no benefit to the company whatsoever because you're turning people off, you know. And it's like, and if you said,
I mean, yeah, the only benefit you could have would be saying like, oh, we're not going to have waste, or we're not going to be stuck with stuff we can't get rid of.
one of the things that X06 that makes the Star Trek 1/6 scale Star Trek figures did recently in a couple of releases is they had a very limited release of like 500 figures and then a bulk release later. So you had all the people who are really, really excited about getting it first, did what they had to do, climbed over all the other bodies, and they got to them first. But everybody is going to be able to get one later.
That's interesting.
And I'd never seen anybody do that before because you had both the perceived scarcity, but you only had that time window when that exists.
but I think that allows them to. They know they're going to sell that first wave, and then it allows them to take pre-orders and then make enough to fulfill pre-orders.
Exactly.
It's kind of like what Tom's saying with the timed release.
I like the
You give
timed
people
release.
a week and say order in that week, and you're guaranteed to get one.
Yeah.
And at least
And-
everybody
yeah,
has
I'll
a
tell
shot at it.
We always see the same thing. So like the when we did the archangels, the cherubs that are on top of the Ark and Raiders, we did that as a timed edition. Same reason. We had no idea how many people were going to want to buy that. Turned out about 500 wanted. Were sold, if I remember right. Maybe it was 525 or something. But even that, with a full week of people to buy them, and with us doing, I did my share of podcasts about it. We had press releases. We put it on all the socials. People shared it everywhere. There were influencer reviews. Everybody knew you had a week to buy this. Well, as soon as that week was gone, our waitlist button started lighting up, and it hasn't stopped. I feel like every 2 days I come in and there's another couple people on the waitlist.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know. I guess they're just late to the party or something.
There's just there's so much stuff out there. There's so much information on so many different things that it's easy
hard to cut through.
It really is. It really is easy to there was a thing recently that I knew I wanted, and Barry happened to see it before. It was just a stupid little Hasbro thing, but Barry saw it and said, "Oh, this is on for sale now." I put an order in. I have never gotten any kind of note. It's never popped up in my feeds. I would have missed that window, and it's just because. But there's a ton of all other stuff because there's we're bombarded with so much stuff.
But it's also not like when you release those Archangels, it wasn't your first Indiana Jones piece. The Indiana Jones collectors knew by then that you were doing things. It's not. It's not like, I mean, I get the
it
urn
was like
of
our
Vernace.
third or fourth prop replica from Indy at the very least, right?
Yeah, I mean the urn I get, like, people missed out on that.
You're not going to miss that. But if it's
tertiary, if you are an indie prop collector and
there's
we're
not
the
that many
licensee doing indie props,
you're not going to miss
than the parts.
But if it's a secondary, tertiary thing, for
that's what's odd. Yeah,
you're going to miss. You might miss it. So because the other thing is it just doesn't. It's not like Star Wars.
But there's a big difference between you had a week and you missed it versus you had a half a second to get on the website to order it, and if you weren't right there, I mean, Dave and I on a completely separate note.
Guitar today, Barry.
Why? Yeah. Well, I logged on this morning and I could have bought a $20,000 guitar. I didn't. But a total different thing. But Dave and I were pulling our hair out a week or so ago trying to get tickets to see Rush on this new tour that they're doing, and
it's just
we did. But Jesus, it was not easy, and they kept adding shows, and people, friends of mine, tried 3 different pre-sales and everything, and we're unable to get tickets. Thankfully, we got them.
When
they
you
just added 17 more shows, Dave. So now
I
there's
saw that.
17 more chances to get frustrated.
Uncasville, they're going to be at Foxwoods or one of the.
Yeah.
But it's funny. You log in nowadays. At least the way this one worked is so they're at the Garden for 4 nights. You have to log in for 1 night. And when people log in for 1 night at the Garden and you're number 130,000 in line, you know you got a problem.
Not a good shot at getting tickets.
No, jeez.
And what's crazy is Dave and I logged in at the same time. I was like 55,000th in line, and he was 200th in line. Like
I got 229, and I could have had my pick, and they were so expensive that I just got the same tickets that we got for the other night.
Yeah, how weird is this? I got tickets for the first batch of tickets we got, and they're in a section and a row and whatever. Dave got them for another night in the same section. In the same seats, 1 row closer.
Well, I picked those because I had other choices, but I realized those tickets are the best value in that arena. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
And when we say best value, they're still $350
a piece.
Not that bad, though. I mean, it's still.
But it's Rush, so I have to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you
and Alex are expecting me to be there.
That's right. Yeah.
You got the Space Slug. Is there any other stuff you could talk about? Did we talk? I can't remember. I know last time, or maybe we talked about it in person. There is a bunch of cool indie stuff coming.
Yeah. So stuff we've announced at Comic-Con. There's as we get later in the year, there's on 11/11 we have Totes Hanger from Raiders.
Oh yes, that's right. We talked about that.
We have the Tote Bronze mini bust in the Regal Icons line. That's me spinning him around. So
yes, of course.
Screaming. On Black Friday, we have the Crate Dragon and Escape Pod desk set, similar to the Space Slug like Barry had.
Oh, cool.
We have 3 more of our Death Star magnets that we've been doing, which are the Death Star surface tiles, which are great for people who do the models because you can like mix and match these all together and make bases for the models or backdrops and stuff. We have before the end of the year, we have 1 more of our legacy sketches coming out, which will be basically a small number of hand-drawn sketches from one of these effects guys that worked on the films. And then going into next year, early in the year, we've got the life-size Walrus Man bust. We've got the Raiders Fedora replica based on the original Raiders Fedora.
That's what I'm excited about. Not that I'm not excited, but that.
No, yeah.
That's awesome that you're doing that, which is so. Well, we watched your video. It's like, it's a prop, but I suppose you could wear it if you wanted to, but
Absolutely.
It's not designed that way.
Well, and it's funny. We were initially kind of told, just say it's a replica. Don't really talk about it. But now they've given us the okay to talk about it that way, so that's good. So yeah, it is a totally wearable, real hat made in a hat factory, but done with additional touches by us, so that it is as faithful as we can get.
Well, that's another item that has been made by other people, but never even close to right. Once you've seen the real one, all the replicas out there are wrong.
Do you know how you're going to release that as a sale? Is it a timed?
That's going to be a timed edition.
You're going to sell. My feeling is you'll sell more of that than you've sold anything.
I'm curious. I hope so. To me, it's like even just our prototype, which to me like immediately feels so much more right than anything I've seen. And but again, I'm just there is a difference between working from stills in a movie, working from photos from an auction house, working from photos behind the scenes, whatever, or even sometimes with the original makers for things that maybe haven't made this again in 40 years or 50 years or whatever. Versus handling something in your hands. It's like there is no substitute for seeing and handling these original props, these artifacts.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing that
measuring and whatever is one thing, but I mean, you literally 3D scanned it. I mean,
yeah. Well, and that was it. It's like, we've done all our usual things that we do, in terms of measuring and patterning and all of that for a soft goods piece. But then it's like, why don't we scan it? It has a shape, like, and we could unbash it and scan it for what the mold, what the hat plug would have looked like, the hat block as they call it. So yeah, it's really been cool developing that. And then the other thing is the golden idol with the real eyes, the glass eyes.
The real eyes, yeah, that's cool.
So that is also reasonably well underway in the prototype phase, and that'll be early in 2026. And then, man, after that, we've got a full board. So there's, for everything people think they know is coming, there's 5 other things that they haven't seen yet. So we are that duck in the water, this on the surface trying to look cool and collected or whatever this is, and then under the surface it's just
yeah. That's awesome. That's very cool stuff. So and all, if you don't know already, regalrobot.com, tomspinadesigns.com,
check them out.
You can find all that stuff.
Go on our socials.
What is the new name? Because the Facebook group, I know the Facebook group changed names.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So it's now the Uniquely Regal Robot Facebook group. And
yes.
We have new T-shirts. It's such a fun group. There's really good people there. They have a lot of in-jokes. But boy, do they get it. It's like we released that Phil bust, and that group is like, yes. That's like, there are people. So, yeah, check that out.
Yeah,
and,
definitely check that group out. There's what... Is it 10,000 people on that group now?
It's a little over 5, but it's only 2 years old. So
yes.
Pretty.
I knew there was a big milestone recently.
Yeah, and we do a lot of giveaways. We've given away things that are like original props. We've given away artist proofs of some of the stuff we've done, and things that are like one of the urns that are impossible to get.
Yeah, everyone wants those urns. I'm glad I have mine.
I would say. You talked about missing out on something, Todd, where you were like, it just didn't show up in your feed. Just go to the Regal website and hit the newsletter thing. Put your email into it. We don't spam you. The times we send out emails are like, hey, we're doing the cherubs from Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you want them, this is the week to get them. Like, that's the email we send out. So, like, if you, just in case, want to know what's coming from us and don't want to miss something, just do that. That's the best way to do it. And there's so much good stuff coming out, and the way social media is these days, it's real easy to miss stuff. So jump on that, and then you're guaranteed to know what's coming.
Cool. Awesome.
Unlike the wand company with their tricorders, when you click on that link, you'll actually be able to buy it instead of like...
Yeah. That is the hope, yes.
We had this run where like the link would show up, and 15 minutes later it'd be like, sorry, you have missed your chance. And it's just like,
we've had our share of those too. I mean, it's tough to guess this stuff. There's times, there's also, when we're doing things like original sketches and stuff, you're dealing with someone else's time too. Yeah. So it's like, oh, how many of these do we want to put out? How many of these do we think will sell? How many of these do we think we can get? How many of these are, can be done consistently? That's always a thing too, in terms of when we're producing something. And there's so many factors that go into figuring that out. But our goal is, for me, my goal for everything is like, I'd love it all to be on there for at least 24 hours. Because I feel like if you've got a day, and like when we have something that's going to be really limited coming out, a week before it comes out, we'll send out one email that says, hey, this is coming out in a week. Here's a blog about it with all the details so you can make up your mind. And here's the day and time it goes live. So that if that's going to be a fast sellout, people at least know to set their alarm and at noon Eastern on that Tuesday, get on our website.
Yeah.
And we've had our share of, 1 and 2 minute sellouts, 3 and 5 minute sellouts, half hour, 45 minute sellouts. But for me, comfortable is like 4 or 5 hours or more. I want people to feel like, hey, I got the email. I was busy at work, but I was, I knew it was coming, and I set my alarm. Or like, oh, I forgot about it, but I got the reminder email the day of, and by the time I got there, I still had a chance. That would be great. Doesn't always happen, but that's what we're always shooting.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome stuff. Check all that out. Tell him the regular Joe sent you. I don't know how you do that, but
yeah, do that.
Call Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Here's his number.
Yeah.
No.
And we also have, when you order something from us, you'll get a personal email from Katie or Ross at the shop confirming your order and saying, hey, thanks, we've received your order. Just if you saw it here, reply back to them and say, thanks, I saw you guys on Regular Joe's. That's how I found you. We love knowing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's go some what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Todd, what is in the box?
Okay. There's an empty box that had 2 Marvel Legends figures in it that I ordered a while ago from Hasbro. I have some Marvel Legends. I have like all of them. I have like all the Daredevil figures. I have all the Moon Knight figures. But some of them, I just want my perfect version of that character. And for a while, I had to suffer through the Jim Lee version of Cyclops. Just too many pouches and stuff. And it's just like, it just wasn't my Cyclops. What I really wanted was the John Byrne, Dave Cochran version of Cyclops. And to do that, I had to get that, I had to get a 2-pack with another Jean Grey figure that I didn't need. But it's not bad looking. It's kind of nice. It's maybe a little better than the one that I've got. They always try to up the game on these things a little bit. And this one, you know, there's extra hands, there's extra heads and stuff like this. This one, though, it's ridiculous. They did the most pronounced I-beam ever. It won't stay in. And when you force it to stay in, the figure won't stay upright. So I might have to like hang this from a piece of fishing line or something. But it's very impressive. Cool.
It is cool.
Or I'll use the other one, which from the other figure, which is a lot more reasonable. Anyways, and then another quick action figure. This is a Hawkwoman figure from Superman, which I don't give a shit about. I really bought it because I wanted this.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Any guesses? Barry?
Oh, is that the body of the robots?
The impossible to get body of the Superman robot that I.
So it's a Build-A-Figure.
My robot collection. I secured all the other pieces from one guy on eBay. It's on its way, but I didn't have this, so I found Hawkwoman for $7, and now I will.
So you built? Is it number 4 or Gary or whatever his name is?
Yeah. It's Gary, soon to be Gary, and so I'm looking forward to being able to assemble him. But like I said,
those damn Build-A-Figures. Okay. I mean, it's a marketing genius boy.
Brilliant. The little Build-A-Figures. There's no way I was gonna buy, you know, like the engineer figure, all the obscure. But like I said, somebody had all of them for like $28, except the very hard to find torso. So I got it, and I'm going to put that together.
I just remember when they did Groot as Build-A-Figure. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The one figure everybody's going to want,
which were cool.
Thing was the hardest one that I had putting together. So, and I end up in a lot of cases buying the parts separately. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to adding the Superman robot to my shelf of robots. Barry,
I'm just disappointed that when you threw Hawkgirl, it didn't fly.
How do you know it didn't fly?
I mean, you could take
zooms behind him.
She's actually coming back with that mace and going to smack me in the head. So
does her mask come off so you can make a what's her face Last of Us figure?
I gotta say, it's a pretty cheap action figure. It's pretty lame. It's the helmet does not come off it. In fact, it's got hands to hold things, but it doesn't have anything. She didn't even come with a mace. Apparently, she holds the robot torso. I don't know. But yeah, no, she's got like gripping hands, but there's nothing for her to grip. And but like I said, soon I will have Gary, and I'll be happy. So
there you go.
Barry, what do you got?
I've just got something little. This is R2DL70. This is the Disneyland 70th anniversary droid that they recently released, and it's in Disneyland colors. And I try really hard not to buy stuff like this, but they got me.
Yeah.
So I got it from
miserably on that, Barry.
I failed.
You're really trying hard. You're failing.
And
I fail all the time. But it's kind of cool. I mean, like pastel colors on them. It's kind of interesting. And
the Parks figures aren't Hasbro, right? They're made by
they stopped being Hasbro a while ago. They've got their own factory that's making them now. It looks just like a Hasbro figure.
Yeah, it really does. I always assumed that they were, but
I think they were for years. Like when they started doing that Build-A-Figure thing, those were Hasbro parts, and then after a while, they were like, "Hey, we can probably tool these ourselves." So, But that's it. That's my what's in the box this week. Dave, what's in the box?
I wonder if this will fit in the frame. This is, I think it's an original prop. No, it's an original prop. Todd will like this. This is, and I got to exactly find out which movie it's from. One of the Iron Man movies. This is a Stark Industries sign that was on the doors at the Stark building. I think in 1 or 2. I got this from probably someone you know, Tom, a friend, not the bad person. Someone on
so
one of the
not
Facebook.
Fake is what you're saying.
No, remember that guy I showed you pictures? He was selling a bunch of different stuff, and we were like looking at the prices, and we were saying that's the guy who was selling this. It's actually, I mean, I'm impressed that you can't. I'll have. Oh, you can see it's got this sort of engraving of the planet.
The continents.
And, I use a lot of this stuff for my plaques. This is not the same stuff. The stuff I use is acrylic. This is aluminum on both sides. Gold aluminum and silver aluminum with like a acrylic core. I haven't seen. So this is like, you have to cut this on a pretty serious laser cutter.
That is awesome.
And now that you have it, Dave, you can make replicas for all the rest of us.
I could make you guys some. I'll make this. It's bigger than I thought it was. I mean,
That's cool.
It's got to be 18 inches. I wanted to put it over with my shield and my Black Widow gun and stuff, but
it's like roughly half a space slug is how we're measuring things now.
Yeah,
by the way,
it's 1.5 Hot Toys tall. That's our, and it even says on the back. It says side room office door. So it was on the office doors in the Stark Industries building. Yeah, it's cool. It was not super expensive, so. Nice. And hashtag private deal. I like that.
I was almost going to say that.
Did you? Oh, great.
Yeah, I was this close.
You
I'm
listen
I don't know if that's somebody else's podcast. Is that
That's okay. Friend of the. Well, they're my friend.
True.
But
Are you kidding? You basically are the reason they're in business. You sponsor them.
I know. Did you listen to this?
Shout out on the last episode.
You did.
I offered Dave to make Dave something. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dave is great. Yeah, I've known him a very, very long time. Had a lot of late nights at Dave's house talking props and nerd stuff, and it's awesome. So.
When I look to see when he sends things, I'm like, wait a second, I'm doing the math. It's 4 a.m. in California.
Yeah.
But so Tom,
Tom,
what do you got?
What's in the box?
We looked at this with Barry. I sent some pictures. You guys, I guess, can put them up later.
Yeah, we'll put them up.
So this is sort of Joe related, so that's why we thought it would be good. So I'm a lover of the old LJN rubber wrestler line, the WWF line, and I a few years back went back. I had kept a few of them. I used to have most of them, and then I only kept a few of my favorites. And then when COVID hit, that was my COVID project, was to get the rest of that line. And of course, it started.
How
with
many do you have now?
It's too many. I'm not sure. I want to say
more
there's
than
like
50
or 60 in the original line, and I do have the full run from the original line. Not into like the variants and stuff, but including like a bunch of the rare ones. And then there's a new company called it's collectmajor.com. They do a line called Big Rubber Guys, which are licensed with the performers, but not WWF. What they've been doing, either the performers or the families, if they're not still around, and they've been doing new versions of wrestlers that either maybe a different version of one that had been done before, or new versions of ones that like never were done. And they're in the same style. They're very cohesive. They remind me a little like the Hasbro retro figures, that sort of vibe, or the Super 7 stuff, but for this scale line. And they're amazing. They're really, really fun. They scratched that particular itch. And so one of the figures they put out early was a Sergeant Slaughter. So I'll give you a quick backstory. In the original line, Sergeant Slaughter was supposed to be in the first wave, and then he wasn't. And then he was going to be in a later wave, but the line fizzled out. So Hasbro, after the line fizzled out, we're talking 87, 88, whatever, released a version of Sergeant Slaughter, big 8-inch tall rubber wrestler Sergeant Slaughter, in their G.I. Joe line. And it said G.I. Joe on the sides of his pants. And he's got, the sort of olive drab outfit with black pants and all of that. So there is a picture of that version. Somebody had it in an acrylic case. That'll be the picture to show here. Big Rubber Guys had gotten the original prototype unpainted, a casting of that, and he's in a different pose. He's he's a little smaller overall, and they did a version of him when they first put out their line based on that prototype that I picked up, and it's him in a kind of black outfit with the whistle around his neck. There's a picture of him in a wrestler ring that you can use here, and that version was thought to be like faithful to what the prototype was, but no one had ever seen a picture of the prototype painted. Flash forward to last year, Comic-Con New York, they released an alternative version of that, where they based it on a different outfit that they saw him wearing in matches in the early 80s, where he had a white t-shirt, blue pants with the word Cobra on the sides, etc. And so they painted one up like that, did it as an exclusive, and Rob at the shop got me one. And I never put it on display because I was like, well, I have the other Sarge, it's the weird outfit, Well, flash forward to a couple of weeks ago, someone found a promo photo that they took of the original prototype lineup. And it's Andre the Giant, Superfly Snuka, Hogan, Big John Studd, and the original Sergeant Slaughter. And sure enough, he's wearing the blue pants that say Cobra, the white t-shirt. The Big Rubber Guys just accidentally guessed almost a perfect replica of that prototype. Wow. And so immediately I was like, well, the black outfit Sarge is coming out and the prototype colors are going in, because now that's pretty cool. So I've included the picture of that lineup, and then I've got a picture of mine with one of the Andre figures they put out to show you how their version turned out. And it's one of those neat little things. I love when it's, when a line can pay tribute to a rarity like that. I'm just waiting for the Star Wars line to come out with like Mongo Beefhead or some of those like Star Wars Continues characters, Atha Prime and all of that stuff.
So what are these figures? Are they rubbery or are they articulate?
Yeah, and the new ones are rubber just like the old ones. They're like PVC rubber.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because the intention when they first came out, Dave, was that you would just
wrestle with them,
fight each other. No articulation. They're just solid rubber.
There's a Netflix documentary, the series Toys That Made Us. Does an episode on these. They were originally going to be 4 inches tall and bendies, so they would have wire in them.
Yeah.
And they did eventually do a bendies line. But when they did their prototypes, they sculpted them as 2-ups. And when they showed those to the sales reps, they were like, oh, these are the 2-ups, they'll be smaller. And they're like, no, we want them like that. So they were going to make them bendies, but they realized that size, you couldn't get wire that would hold.
Yeah.
So now they're just, kind of static posed rubber guys. But they're fun. Cool. They're from, I was 10 and 11 when these things hit. Pretty good era for that. Andre the Giant and George the Animal Steel were just like favorites of mine, and then the whole rock and wrestling thing happened, and it was just like, oh, okay, this is a lot of fun. Mr. T's in it, like, come on, how cool is this?
Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, all those guys, right?
Yeah, Macho Man, come on, right? Like, so it's something that sort of drifted out of my life for a long time, and then when it came back, it was like, it's just one of these things. Like, it was just dumb fun, and it brings a smile to my face every time I look at it. And isn't that why we collect shit?
That's exactly why we collect.
If anybody questions Tom's sort of the collector gene in Tom, it's he's not just making stuff.
Tom, you're
he's a hardcore collector.
A mile deep and a mile wide. It's just like you get the whole range. So that's awesome.
I've seen this collection. He literally has every single one.
That's awesome.
That's great. This is the whole thing. Is whatever interests you. Yeah. That's what makes us whole. So.
And it's the same. We're all chasing the same feeling, right? Like it doesn't. The subject matter changes. The line changes. I like Todd. What you were saying before about trying to find like your prime example of each character. Oh man, do I know that?
Yeah.
Like. When it comes to the Marvel stuff, when it comes to DC stuff, Like that was always the thing. It's like I wanted one good example of each, and I felt like that was how I got into like figure customizing. It was Star Wars initially as a kid, but then it came back around in the '90s, and like be getting Toy Biz or whoever was making Marvel stuff, and I'm like, why did they do it this way? Or like,
oh yeah, yep, exactly.
You get a Batman, and I'm like, I got to scrape all this crap off of him and paint the belt brown, that kind of stuff.
Yep,
exactly. Well, cool. That's a good what's in the box, everybody. Well, Tom, thank you again. We appreciate you coming on as always. Everyone check all his stuff out, as we said, regalrobot.com, tomspinadesigns.com.
Go to Dave's workshop. He's doing great stuff too.
I was just going to say we didn't talk about From Dave's Workshop.
Yeah, we're collaborating on some things. Tom's too busy. Shoot some people my way. Appreciate that.
It's more than that, because you're doing stuff that's just not in our wheelhouse, or not stuff that we can gear up to do. You're outfitted. You've got a different kit than us.
Yeah, well,
pretty unique skill set, and you're doing beautiful displays, and it really nests nicely with some of the stuff we're doing. We can do the weirder, wackier stuff, and when it's something normal, it's like, hey, we know who to bring in.
I appreciate that. That coming from you, that's a huge compliment. So thank you. But if you need a display or plaque or a Stark Industries sign, check us out from davesworkshop.com. DM me, email me from davesworkshop@gmail.com. Working on some fun stuff that I will reveal when I'm allowed to. And we mentioned it in passing. Dave Mandel from Stuff Dreams Are Made Of. I reached out to him. I'm doing something for him, and he was nice enough to give me a nice mention on his show. He's got this card. He's got a Christmas card from Stanley Kubrick that he wants to display both sides, and I've done some of that stuff where it's a clear on both sides and a sandwich thing. So I'm working on that with him. And so I thank him for the mention. But check us out. Tell him the Regular Joe sent you.
We got a quick final thought that I think.
Yes, we should have a final thought.
At least 3 of us are affected by this, and maybe all 4. I don't know.
I don't think it's possible for anyone in our generation-ish to not be affected by this. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in the last week since we recorded last, Ace Frehley, guitarist from Kiss, passed away, and it sounds like it was an accident, and he got injured, and he wasn't ill, but he'd hit his head and then fell a second time and hit his head again, and that supposedly suffered some really serious injuries and went. So I know, Dave, your first concert ever, right?
My first concert, I was 12, Madison Square Garden, 1977. I saw Kiss in the Alive 2 tour. Dad took me and my brother. Ace was the first rock poster I had on my wall. That's it.
As young fledgling guitarists, I think both Tom and I were deeply influenced by Ace.
Me and a bunch of friends did Kiss for Halloween one year in early high school, and you friggin' know it, I was Ace. Mm-hmm. Like I was not going to be anybody else. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Ace quotes ever was he talked about that if he knew he would end up having influenced so many people, he would have practiced more.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix, but his riffs were
But he could have
iconic.
been. Yeah.
I mean,
really strong riffs, great songwriting. I think we were talking about Barry went and dug up the 78 solo album. And actually,
I hadn't. I mean, other than New York Groove, which you hear all the time, I hadn't really listened to that album in probably 30 years.
Same.
And I put it on, and I was actually so pleasantly surprised. That is a great album.
Agreed.
It's not just like the other 3 albums that came out. They released all 4 of those solo albums on the same day.
Right.
None of the other 3 are awful. Ace's album is a legitimately good album, and I don't think it gets the recognition.
Even back then, they said it was his favorite. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Kiss at least a dozen times, with and without him. I mean,
Well, I think the last time we both saw Kiss was together, and unfortunately they had already. Tommy Thayer was.
I saw, and I, you guys tell me if you saw. I saw Frehley's Comet at Lemoore in Brooklyn.
Oh wow!
And I have. It's one of the few cassette tapes I have left. Somebody taped that show, and I borrowed it, and I never gave it back. So I don't even remember your name, but if you're missing your Frehley's Comet thing from 30 years ago, I still have it. The cassette tape. But
So,
and 74. We always say the older we get, that is so incredibly way too young. It's not even funny.
Well, and I jokingly said, like,
but you also think like it's people. I mean, rock star lifespans.
There's a lot of mileage. It's not the years; it's the mileage.
I kind of jokingly said,
No,
like, amazing.
It's like if they make it past drug overdoses and plane crashes, okay, they've still lived hard lives.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and Ace was no stranger to that. He had a very hard life after he left Kiss and before he left Kiss, but sounds like he had come out the other side of that, and so it was a little amazing he made it as far as he did.
Happen in a studio? Like, was he recording again? Was he?
I think the first one was in a studio, and I think the second one was at his house.
Oh, man.
But they said the second time he fell, he really badly injured his head.
That's a shame.
And he had brain bleed or something. That's awful. But rest in peace, Ace. You definitely there's probably no one of our generation that doesn't know him or love him. So
he's off in the stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So thank you again, Tom.
Thank you.
Next week, I know what I want to do next week, but we'll talk about that. And we may have announcements of different stuff going on. We'll see how this one goes.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.